following Nebraska law. He says things escalated when Crawford announced he had a gun.
Bud said, "I have a firearm too." The cop on his side went ballistic, totally unhinged. He says, "Get your hands up, get out the car, don't reach, don't reach." But there was never a physical gun in sight. Everyone thought we were gonna die, man.
Terence Crawford found himself at the center of a frightening scene in his own hometown. Just hours after Omaha celebrated him with a victory parade, the superstar was suddenly surrounded by police, forced out of his car at gunpoint.
Seatbelt.
Step out.
I'm opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening
off
the door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It all happened during the early hours following a long day of celebration. After returning from Las Vegas, where he shocked the boxing world by beating Canelo Alvarez to become the undisputed super middleweight champion, Crawford was honored with a parade through downtown Omaha. Crowds gathered to cheer for the local hero, who has been known to stay rooted in his hometown despite worldwide fame. Later that evening, he celebrated his 38th birthday at a live music venue nearby. But what followed in the early morning hours has overshadowed all of that. Shortly before 1:30 a.m., Omaha police reported spotting a car driving in a reckless manner near the downtown area. Officers pulled the vehicle over, and when they approached, they noticed a firearm placed on the driver's side floorboard. Out of caution, they ordered all 4 passengers in the car to exit with their hands visible. The driver, as it turned out, was none other than Terence Crawford himself. Despite the terrifying situation, police later confirmed that both Crawford and the other occupants of the vehicle were legally permitted to carry firearms.
Just hours after a Heroes Parade celebrated his historic undisputed win, Terence "Bud" Crawford's night took a nightmare turn. The Omaha champ was pulled over for reckless driving, but here's the shocker. An officer spots illegal and Crawford and his crew are ordered out at immediately cuffed on the street. From the highest point in boxing to staring down a barrel, his security team is saying they feared for their lives. Police confirmed the guns were legal, but the citation was for reckless driving. Was it an honest traffic violation, or was this a massive overreach? The mayor's launched an investigation, but the community is asking, why did a night of celebration end in handcuffs?
Still, the scene was tense. Video footage began circulating on social media almost instantly. In the clip, officers could be heard commanding Crawford to step out of the car. At one point, he made it clear he wasn't going to touch the gun, signaling just how nerve-wracking the moment was for him and those around him. A member of his security team, Kasim Shabazz, later explained how terrifying the experience was, describing it as a nightmare that left them convinced something far worse could have happened. He emphasized how surreal it felt to survive such a confrontation after what should have been a day of nothing but happiness.
Sunday at 1:30 in the morning, Terence Crawford was stopped by police on Cass Street. Crawford's head of security, Kasim Shabazz, was in the car.
Cop comes to my window, cop goes to Bud's window. I know the protocol.
An officer with the Omaha Police tells KETV that while Crawford was reaching to grab his information, like license and registration, the cop spotted a gun by Crawford's feet. But Shabazz says things went down differently, saying Crawford never reached for his license or registration.
He said, "No, I don't have it on me. I left everything at home." He had already told them, so there was no reason for him to reach for nothing.
Shabazz says both he and Crawford had guns on them. He told the police he had a firearm, following Nebraska law. He says things escalated when Crawford announced he had a gun.
Bud said, "I have a firearm too." The cop on his side went ballistic, totally unhinged. He says, "Get your hands up, get out the car, don't reach, don't reach." But there was never a physical gun in sight. Everyone thought we were gonna die, man.
Crawford was eventually cited for reckless driving, but no further charges were made. Police confirmed that one of his passengers, part of his security detail, had a firearm as well, but that it was legal and properly registered. At Crawford's request, a police supervisor and lieutenant were also called to the scene, further highlighting the seriousness of the situation. The Omaha Police Department has since acknowledged the intensity of the incident. Police Chief Todd Schmaderer ordered an internal affairs investigation, stressing that it needed to be looked into thoroughly. Omaha's mayor, John Ewing, supported that decision and reached out personally to Crawford Crawford. He admitted that the ordeal damaged the sense of trust between law enforcement and the community, pointing out that transparency would be key moving forward.
Terence "Bud" Crawford, fresh off his historic victory over Canelo Alvarez, was honored with a parade in Omaha on Saturday, but just hours later, he was pulled over in a tense traffic stop caught on video. The footage shows police ordering Crawford out of his car at gunpoint after an officer spotted a firearm on the floorboard. Crawford, hands raised, repeatedly told officers he wasn't reaching for a gun before being patted down. Police later said all occupants, including a member of Crawford's security team, were legally permitted to carry weapons, though Crawford was cited for reckless driving. Omaha's police chief has launched an internal affairs investigation, and the mayor promised transparency while acknowledging the incident marred what should have been a day of celebration.
Just 2 weeks earlier, Crawford had shocked the boxing world by defeating Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas. The win cemented his place in history as the first male boxer to become an undisputed champion across 3 weight classes: super lightweight, welterweight, and now super middleweight. That victory pushed his professional record to 42 wins with 31 knockouts and no defeats. The fight against Alvarez was considered one of the toughest challenges of his career. Moving up 2 weight classes, Crawford entered the ring as the underdog. Yet he managed to control the pace and outbox one of the sport's most iconic names. The judges scored it 116 to 112, 115 to 113, and 115 to 113, all in Crawford's favor. In front of a crowd of over 70,000 fans in Las Vegas, many of them cheering for Alvarez, he silenced the critics with a brilliant performance. That's why the abrupt and unsettling ending to the day cut so deeply for those watching. Many felt that it wasn't just Crawford being pulled out of a car at gunpoint, it was their city's hero, someone they celebrated only hours before. While Crawford processes that, he is also being pressed with questions about his future in boxing. In recent interviews, he has admitted he's undecided about what comes next. Speaking casually, he explained that everything feels up in the air right now, and that he is more focused on enjoying time with his family. He's proud of what he has accomplished, and has not yet sat down with his team to decide on his next step.
You know, it's been a journey, you know? It's been a journey. I remember, like it was yesterday, I went to quit boxing. You know, it was getting to the point where I didn't enjoy it no more. I didn't love it no more. And Bomac, you know, he always, hey, don't worry about it, man. Just keep going. It's gonna all pay off one day. And I'm like, man, boxing. you know, but them having the faith in me and keeping me on the narrow arrow, you know, is what y'all see today. You know, because without them, I wouldn't be up here right now.
His head coach, Brian McIntyre, has suggested that Crawford still has 2 or 3 fights left in him before he calls it a career. McIntyre, who has also been tapped to help Chris Eubank Jr. in his rematch with Conor Benn, believes that Crawford could still compete at the highest level without showing any decline.
Thank you, man. Thank you for trusting in us. You trusted in us to get the job done. I swear to God, if you look at the fight closely, you gotta really look at the fight. He did everything we worked on in camp. Everything. From the steps, from the punch selection, from the catches, from the releases. Beautiful. Like Birdie say, just beautiful. Again, thank y'all. I want to hear y'all, okay? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?
There has also been talk of Crawford testing himself at middleweight. One name that continues to pop up is Janibek Alimkhanuly, the unified WBO and IBF middleweight champion from Kazakhstan. Alimkhanuly has gained a reputation as one of the most avoided fighters in the division, boasting an undefeated record of 17 wins, 12 of them by knockout. After Crawford's win over Alvarez, Alimkhanuly expressed interest in sharing the ring with him, confident that their matchup would deliver fireworks. He sees it as the kind of fight no fan would want to miss. The possibility of such a bout has generated buzz among fans and pundits alike. It would present Crawford with yet another chance to make history, potentially becoming a 4-division unified champion. But while the idea excites boxing followers, there is another side to the discussion. David Benavidez has been linked with Crawford in the rumor mill as well. However, Benavidez has made it clear he is not interested in moving back down to 168 pounds to make that fight happen. Now settled at light heavyweight, Benavidez feels that is where he is at his best physically and mentally. He emphasized that he has moved on from the super middleweight division and is now focused solely on cementing his status at 175. For him, Crawford should remain focused on his own division rather than chasing him for a potential super fight.
Do you want to see a rematch?
No. He's not beaten Crawford, Canelo.
Okay.
I think he can, can he improve? Maybe. But
okay, so wait.
Kind of
Wait. If he's not beating Crawford, which is fair, right? I agree. Based on what we saw, I do think he can make improvements, but who knows? Is there someone else better out there than that you'd rather see Crawford fight than Canelo?
Well, Turkey did ask, could Bivol get down to 168?
I asked. Turkey said, can Benavidez?
I thought he said Bivol.
No,
as well.
I said Bivol. Oh. Turkey said Benavidez.
Well, certainly not. Certainly not Benavidez. I don't think he's beaten Benavidez. I think that's a bridge way too far. I think a lot of things too far. But could you just imagine if Bivol could, the skill we'd see in that fight?
Yeah.
The rounds between Canelo and Crawford went by like that. They'd be the same against those two. That'd be epic.
As for where Crawford stands, he seems to be enjoying the idea of leaving his options open. Whether it's Alim Khanoli at middleweight, another big money fight at super middleweight, or perhaps even retirement, nothing is off the table. His accomplishments already place him among the all-time greats, and his recent victory over Alvarez has only strengthened that argument. Of course, not everyone believes Crawford is the best of his generation. Boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya recently weighed in with his perspective, praising Crawford but also insisting that Floyd Mayweather still stands above him. De La Hoya argued that while Crawford is an exceptional fighter who mixes boxing and brawling beautifully, Mayweather's technical skill makes him superior overall. Mayweather's resume, which includes titles across 5 weight classes and victories over icons like De La Hoya himself, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez, still resonates as one of the greatest in history.
And who would do it? Because Canelo after the fight said that Crawford is way better than Floyd. You know Crawford, you know Canelo, you know Floyd. What do you think? Who would win in a fight?
My man.
I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time. And Crawford, yeah, he's more of a fighter, boxer. Mayweather's more of a boxer. But I have to disagree. I think Mayweather is much more superior than Crawford. Not just because he beat me and it was a close fight, whatever, and or that I stepped in the ring with Mayweather, but I really feel that technically Mayweather's a better fighter.
For now, though, the spotlight remains firmly on Crawford. Between the shocking police stop in Omaha, his historic win over Alvarez, the speculation about his boxing future, and the debates over where he ranks among legends, he continues to dominate headlines. What should have been remembered as a weekend of pure triumph has instead left fans, officials, and the fighter himself reflecting on the fragility of both victory and safety. Crawford is still undefeated, still a 3-division undisputed champion, and still the pride of Omaha. But as he turns 38 and looks toward the final chapter of his career, both the boxing world and his hometown will be watching closely. Whether he chooses to continue fighting for more history, to step away from the sport on top, or to chase yet another massive challenge, one thing is certain: the name Terence Crawford will remain etched into boxing history no matter what happens next.